Hello there, I'm Colonel Failure and this is Train Fever USA. Now, last time around we had to go back in time to resolve some pretty significant financial problems. And as we follow one of the parts of the solution into Maryport, I'm pleased to report that we are back in business. Let's get the cursor out of the way so we can see this fella coming in. Yeah, absolutely. It took a fair amount of sorting out, but we are, fingers crossed, touch wood, throw salt over your shoulder. Yes, back in business and likely to survive for a little while longer at least. So, what have I done? I think you saw most of it. We've advanced to 1955, but as we look through our line manifest here, you'll see that, while we are still running a loss in places, for the most part, everything is now back under control, he says, looking immediately at a line that is costing him $2 million to run a year. We are mostly fixed. These Hiawatha's, I do not recommend buying them. I suggest holding on a little while longer and waiting for the big boy. You get more hauling for pretty much the same money. Now, I understand that in reality they were used as goods hauling engines primarily, but they are doing a pretty good job for me. The other thing that we managed to acquire is where are we? Let's push the right button. We picked ourselves up one of these, and its name is actually escaping me for a moment, and I'm not getting any clues here neither. Yeah, so we've had a few new kind of items of technology appearing, which is nice. But fundamentally, what I tried to do was get us back on an even keel financially, so that we could continue growing. And as we look at the budget sheet, we're now way back in profit, and our most significant cost is that of replacing vehicles. Road vehicles. All the trains I did manually already. And that was the problem. So hopefully I'm going to keep an eye on that in the future and it shouldn't get out of control again. Now, before I crack on, prior to the disaster from which we have just recovered, I was topping out my income here at around the 30 million mark, and so you see we haven't quite recovered to that point. You might think, well, if your income's down, how can you possibly be back in profit again? Well, the profits were being affected by the running costs of everything going on, and now that we're on an even keel again, I'm very hopeful that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I created a couple of new lines, effectively taking in some of the kind of multi-stop stations that we've got going on. But I need to get those expanded. What this has actually done is it's made me question whether having multiple loops is really a good idea at all. Because look at this ugly piece of track laying here. I must have commented on that at the time, that it was an ugly piece of track laying. Yeah, so the loops themselves, so the forward and the reverse on this line here, the Holsworthy line, aren't paying off. They're just not paying off. They are, in fact, costing me money to run. Now, one of the reasons that was happening was the trains were too close together, so I spent some time pausing services that were running on the line in order to allow a little bit of space to build up between them. But my original goal, here we go, here's a couple now passing each other. My original goal of having dozens of engines running up and down these lines, it doesn't look like it's achievable, which is a real shame, because that would have been quite the sight to see. Now, of course, this could be down to my selection of these Hiawatha's, which I thought was going to save my bacon, but they are so slow. They just do not have the hauling power, and yet they cost a bundle to run. It's not paying off at the moment. So maybe next time I replace the trains, they'll be able to pick themselves back up again. And in the meantime, they should build up a little bit of demand from the stations they're hitting already. So this is a reverse coming in here. Pretty sure it's a reverse coming in here. Yeah, it's a reverse coming in here. And there's 70 waiting. It's got a capacity of 108. we'll live with that. That's okay. Okay, so what are we going to get on with? So I want to complete a second loop to see if by using better trains we can actually generate a profit out of them. And I've got a couple that are in the right area. So here's the kind of the Loftus line, which we've focused on quite a bit in recent episodes. Not least of all, this road should be connected. I wonder if that's causing me any drama. Let's connect that road now. Yeah, we've been looking at the Loftus line, not least of all when we did the sunken station that I've since reverted from. No, you have to lay track over road. You can't lay road over track unless you build a little bridge over it. But that's not going to play the game. Hold on. What if we just up it a little? Yeah, I know. Business as usual. I've managed to distract myself within seconds. Steady on. I don't need you to go that high. I need you to go a little higher, though. Right. Come on. You can align that. You must be able to align it. This is your last chance, or I'm not going to bother. Alright, well, what if we were to take it as far as there? And then go one further. No? Seriously? That pillar's always going to collide? Oh, well. Not your lucky day. I'm not going to reconnect it. We seem to still be alive. This whole area needs a bit of tidy up anyway. But that's coming. Yes, Loftus line. So the Loftus line out this way. We've done quite a lot of work on here already. Not least of all in kind of this split route going out here. In fact, how far off is this? This is almost complete, you know. It needs double tracking. Where are we here? Is this Lostwithiel? Did I just delete that building? Never have the bulldozers. Lisgard. Having the bulldozer selected is fatal. So from Lisgard we go out to Bexley, and that is connected, and that's connected to Neston. This would appear to be what in common business parlance is the low-hanging fruit. We can loop this. Okay, right, that's the plan for today. Let's double track and get a loop up. It's a slightly weird route, but since when has that been something I've been nervous about? Alright, before I do that, let's see what we're actually going to run down it. Because if this needs to be electrified, and I'm quite happy to electrify a route, if it means that our chances at profitability are higher, then so be it. Okay, so we've got... this is the most recent addition, engine-wise. Not particularly quick. It's apparently one of the most successful diesels ever made. Yeah, well, that's nice. It's not very quick, but it does have a lot of tractive effort, and it is cheap to run. Oh my, 610 a year compared to Mr. Hiawatha here, which is 930 a year. And then you compare that to the big boy, which is 905 a year with pretty much double the tractive effort. Yes, you pay up front. Actually, you pay less up front. And look at it. There's no competition at all. This 442 is a big pile of crap. There you go. I've said it. Don't buy one. You'll be wasting your money. So let's have a look at the electrics. The Alco. The Alco is the other opportunity. Running costs are $1 million a year. Not cheap. $1 million a year for this PRR. No. I don't want a train where I'm shelling out $1 million a year. And this little diesel is not very fast. But holy cow, that would save me money. Yeah, I mean it's going to be between the Alco PA and the big boy, isn't it? Really, and I think you have to go with the Alco PA in order to make it just the fastest thing on rails. Okay, right. So electrification, not interested. that's that settled. Right, so where should we start? Should we start with the tricky bit? Let's start with Maryport out to Loftus. And then I'll do Maryport to Neston and get that track fixed as well. So we probably won't finish this... Learn to speak, man. We probably won't finish this in a single episode, because this is a fairly sizable project we've got going on here. But I like a sizable project. Right, why did I lay that in a split fashion? It'll probably come back to me when I've almost finished it. Are you snapping? You're snapping. It's what we like to see. Yeah, okay, so, you know, as usual, we're going to be trying to minimize the... Okay, right, that train has cleared, almost. Actually, I'm going to wait for him to get into Maryport, and then I'm going to pause the game. Because, as before, I'm going to have to do some clever track malarkey. Not least of all, because if this loop... I mean, we could run a back and forth, I guess. Simulating what will happen when I loop up the other side. That would probably be the best way to go. Okay, and pause. Right. So, I want to lay this piece of track here from the exit from Maryport down to Loftus in a straight line. Now, this was one of the original routes that I built. And as such... I tried to set it up for efficiency, that's cost efficiency, rather than anything else. So there we go. Let's get rid of the lot here, because this hopefully will be the last time I relay any of this track. I might add, you know, more points and what have you on there in the future, but I don't want to have to lay the track again. So I'm going to go for a straight line here, to allow whatever service I'm running up it to do its damnedest to hit top speed. There we go. Not cheap. And why isn't it cheap, I wonder? Wow, we've got a crazy tunnel happening. I wonder if that's... Is that on the flat? Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, 1.82 million is expensive. There's no reason at all it should be going underground, is there? Let's have a look. Oh, you know, other than this hill. Well, that would be a little disappointing in terms of having a scenic vista for people to drive through. That said, it's not the most scenic area anyway, is it? And it sorts out my my road connection problem there. I'll take it. Thank you. Alright, we could probably do with some beautification going on in this. Well, probably. I think probably is a bit of an understatement. We need to beautify this area. While I'm here, and before we start running anything on this track, let's upgrade that to high speed. I think that's the whole station high sped now. Now, obviously, you know, the tunnel, for those who haven't been keeping up, it currently terminates over here. More to be done on that side. So that's that's the reverse side of the loop again, and we'll get to that in due course. Look at this for a mess. Enormous gouges. But hey, you can't lay track without breaking a few bits of ground. Okay, double track it up. Now, I am going to need points on this. If I'm going to run this as a shuttle originally, rather than a loop, which until I've built the other side of the loop, so coming out of Maryport, then it is going to need to switch tracks to do a back and forth, which is also going to lead to a little bit of queuing, which is not desirable. But hey, you have to roll with the hand you've been dealt. Okay, alright, look, as much as I've just got distracted by, sorting the ground out, I suspect strongly this is not why you are interested in watching this stuff. So it's just so satisfying to make it all nice again. So I'll do that while you're not watching. I will, honestly, I'm going to stop I can stop any time. That's nicer. Just do this little bit and then I'll get back to work, honest. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Right. Yes, I'll sort out the rest of this while you're elsewhere, maybe having a cup of tea. Needs doing. That one's going to prove to be a bit of a challenge. I can see it already. Never mind. Right. So yes, as I was saying, I'm going to need some points on here. Now, if it's going in on, to be honest, I'm going to be able to dictate that when I set it up, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. Except for the fact that obviously you can't put points on bridges, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. Yeah, so the initial setup of this is going to be end-to-end, effectively. So they'll come out of Maryport, go around this gargantuan loop. I mean, look at the size of it. Come back through Neston. So they'll be coming back up on this line and then head back out again. Now, the other thing that I could do is I could then run a counter to that goes the other way. In fact, I'll definitely run a counter to that. And then effectively we've got both sides of the loop in operation already. But they are going to want to switch sides. So let's... Is that the way you decided you want to do it? Yes, because they're going to want to drive on the right, so it makes sense to do it like that, no matter which side they come in on. Is that going to work? Yes, so they go out, round the loop, come back through Neston, and then go back out, through Neston, back round the loop, and in. In that case, it's not two routes, is it? It's one route. Alright, fine. However you wish to word it. Now, for some reason, I felt that having 4 lines of track here was a good thing. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Now, I know that I split this route here, and that I felt that having 4 lines of track, as well as being stupendously expensive, would be a glamorous way to do that. So let's stick with that. Is that a lump in my track? How very dare you? Well, let's fix that, because that's not pretty. How much do you want to delete if I delete this? Oh, we're going to delete all the way back to Maryport, including the tunnels that you've just spent money on. No, actually, that's not too bad. Right. It's a little happier. Of course, that might have been in place simply because of the level crossing there, but since I can basically delete road whenever I feel like it, that shouldn't be an issue. Go. Let's level that out to encourage this to go in a level fashion. And obviously, because we've already dug this out before, we can see exactly where the track is going to want to go. Stay on the level, please. Let's have the swanky level crossing. Swanky wherever possible. Okay, we'll take this one round first. Are we happy with that? Yeah, we're happy with that. So, you know, I mean, as much as we try and keep maximum speed on all our tracks as much as possible, the more important thing is where you have slowdowns. So if you're going to have your track slowing down at some point because you've got corners to do it when the train's going to be slowing down anyway. No. Let's try and get those two. There you go. As far as there, in fact, I bet that's a little bit of extra track I've got on the end here. No, it's not. That is the station. Okay, well. Shouldn't matter at that point. So I'm going to have to get points in for these two tracks, and I can either do it before the tunnel but after the road, or try and do it before then. So the simplest way if I can get this to... In fact, look, we could take that onto there now. This is going to make for some unappealing cornering here, but space is not on our side. As much as I could... In fact, this isn't a connecting road at all. This is just, you know, a bit of road. You know what I mean. It's not a country road. It's not a city-to-city connection. We could do that. Okay, so that's got... So if I'm travelling on the right, I'm going to want to continue on the right, so that's not an issue. However, if I'm coming the other way, I'm going to be travelling on the right. I'm going to want to get over onto that side. So I need one point switch here. And, you know, as was shown in all of those kind of junction episodes outside Maryport, this is going to make for actually very simplistic signalling. You know, we're going to need a signal right about here, because that's where stuff's going on down there, but it's the other side, so it's coming out of the station where it gets complicated. So this guy travelling on the right is going to come out and zip down there like he's a happy individual. Coming in the opposite direction, however, is going to be slightly more woe-inducing, because we're going to want to switch onto this piece of track right there, which leads to potential scenarios where trains are going head to head. And do I want to allow queuing here? No, what I'll do instead is I'll put another queue point just there. So here's my thinking. Trains coming up here. It's not going to happen very quickly. It's not going to happen right away. This is not something we're building now. This will be something that happens when we expand the loop further. Trains will come up here and wait, right? So the only thing that we are waiting for is trains that want to head up in that direction, and that could be clogged for any reason. There could be services coming down this line. There could be services coming down on the other side through this line, and anything else. Yeah, you know, there's kind of 3 different routes that pass through this little section of track here. So this is where it's going to get stuck. And therefore we want one train to queue here, and we want another train to queue as close as possible, so that when that signal clears, we can move the next train up and it's not absolutely miles away. So in fact, I'm going to want regular signalling down here. How long is this tunnel? Pretty long. So we'll put another one there, which will actually be kind of fun, looking at stuff waiting in that particular section. And then we'll stick another one here. Actually, is that a really dumb idea? No, it's not. And then we'll stick another one right here, despite the fact that right now this piece of track probably won't get used. Am I sure about that? Not 100% sure. No, I'm not. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tidy up all this lot. Actually, am I? No, I'm going to tidy up this side. I'm not going to do the Neston section yet. Next time around, we'll do the next section of track, and depending on how much waffling I do, we might get through quite a bit. Thanks very much for watching today. I've been Colonel Failure. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll be back in the near future with more of the same. Have a good day. Cheerio.